ਵਿਰਾਸਤ-ਏ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਨੂੰ ਕੌਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਸਥਾਪਿਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਚੁੱਕਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਹੈਰੀਟੇਜ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਨੂੰ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੇहद ਖਾਸ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਬੇहद ਖਾਸ ਆਰਕੀਟੈਕਟ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੰਨੇ ਪਰਮੰਨੇ ਆਰਕੀਟੈਕਟਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੂਚੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ੁਮਾਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਚੋਟੀ ਦੇ ਆਰਕੀਟੈਕਟਾਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਲਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਦੇਸ਼, ਸਾਡੇ ਸੂਬੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਿਰਾਸਤ ਕੇਂਦਰ, ਖਾਲਸਾ ਹੈਰੀਟੇਜ ਸੈਂਟਰ एक चर्चा का सबब बना है, उस वक्त सब लोग ये भी जानना चाहते हैं आखिर इस अजूबे आर्किटेक्चरल वंडर ਨੂੰ किस शख्स ने चेहरा मोहरा देता है। तो वो शख्स है ने इजराइल बॉर्न आर्किटेक्ट मोशे साफदी साहब, जो कि इस वक्त साढ़े नाल गुफ्तगू दे प्लेटफॉर्म पर जुड़ रहे हैं। वेलकम टू आवर शो मोशे साफदी।
थैंक यू।
दर्शकों को दस दी मोशे साफदी साहब एक म्यूजियम डिजाइनर है ने, इज अर्बन प्लानर है ने, एक आर्किटेक्ट है ने, एक ऑथर है ने, एक एजुकेटर है ने, कई इन्हों के मल्टी डायमेंशनल रोल्स है। लेकिन जो आप मोटी गल करिए तो दुनिया के लगभग ऐसे 4 दर्जन प्रोजेक्ट, लगभग 43 ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट ने जो कि सिरे चढ़ा चुके हैं। खालसा हैरीटेज प्रोजेक्ट इन्हों का पहला प्रोजेक्ट है हिंदुस्तान के। Moshe, it's been a wonderful experience talking to you at this great complex that you have created, you have designed it. How satisfying has it been for you? It has been satisfying, it has been a matter of elation for the entire Sikh community, but as an architect, how do you feel? 12 years on, you finally have a project?
It's a very exciting day. As you say, it's 12 years in the making.
Yeah.
It's 12 years ago that the chief minister visited Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Museum in Jerusalem, asked for me because he was impressed with it, and I felt enormous responsibility.
Yeah.
And I spent the first few months studying Sikh teachings, history, music. I immersed myself in Sikhism because I wanted to make a building that really feels like it belongs to the Sikhs. A building that is part of the Punjab. And today I felt with the opening that people have embraced the building, they feel it is theirs, and that's the best feeling an architect could have.
As an architect, 12 years down the line, there have been talks about kind of stumbling blocks, the delays, but once the monument is there, the structure is there, you feel that it's a long way to go. You know, it's quite premature to say that has been completed. It's yet to begin with its next phase.
Today is the end of a construction phase, exhibition installation phase. It's the beginning of this institution. Today it goes onto a life of its own. It needs director, it needs a staff, it needs to build a collection. So this is the beginning of this institution. We have brought it to this moment. Now it's very important that the next team takes it and makes it into a rich institution that really has content, that has programming, a building that is well maintained. So this is a pivotal moment. At the same time, it seems clear to me that the community has embraced it, and that means that they will support it, and they will support the programs for it. And I think therefore it has a good prospect for the future.
We've studied a little bit about you in terms of your website that is on. We've seen 43 of your projects that are already underway. That's what I was trying to tell my viewers. You know, you have 43 projects that have been completed, and there are many more in the pipeline, many more which are underway. The fact of the matter is, you told that you immerse yourself into Sikhism. That is something which is very essence and at the core of the whole philosophy of Moshe Safdie. So did you know about Sikhism before you met Sardar Badal to get into the project?
I knew very little about Sikhism. I knew a fair amount about India. I came to India first time in 1965 and came back many times. But I didn't know much about Sikhism. And my philosophy is that you design a building out of a regard and respect for the place, for the culture, for the climate, for the architectural heritage. Therefore, I felt I needed to know a lot. I needed to know a lot about how Sikh think, what they believe in. And I have to say that as the design emerged, I was really finding myself to be like an interpreter. And at the same time, I think the building is optimistic. It looks to the past.
Tell us something about this building. Tell us something about the building in the sense that what kind of architecture can you compare it with, you know?
Well, I don't think I can compare it with anything. The first question was, are you going to design an architecture that's like the Gurdwara? And I said, no, this is the past.
Right.
We need to have a building that looks to the past, but also looks to the future. And I try to make a building that is new, that is a new experience, but also feels to people that it's always been there. Now that's a hard thing to balance, that it's new, but feels it's always been there. So I chose, for example, to build with a local sandstone, actually from Gawalir.
Okay.
I
That's a
chose-
sandstone from Gavalir that we have used it here, right?
I chose a site, by the way.
Right.
I chose a site. I thought we put the permanent functions that serve the city on one side of the
Right,
valley,
right.
the exhibit museum on the other.
Right.
We created water gardens in between, which is very much in the Sikh tradition, water gardens.
Water guards.
And we are damming the flow of water down and making it part of this environment. And the forms, they grow from the sand dunes, the sand cliffs,
Right.
almost organically. Now, I did not want to make a gold roof. They said, will you make a gold roof, the Golden Temple? I said, no, the Golden Temple is sacred. This is a secular institution. I will make it silver, not gold.
Okay.
And we chose stainless steel, which faces south, so all day it's reflecting the light and the sunlight on the Gurdwara and the fort.
Okay. So it basically works as the reflectors, you know?
It's reflector of
okay.
sky and
Okay.
of light.
Right. And what are these forms about? Now, there have been various kind of, forms, and there are petals around, and they also symbolize a lot of things that you must have got.
I think that people should fill in their own symbolism. I don't like to tell them what the symbols are. People call this a petal building. It has 5 petals. 5 is an important number for Sikhism.
Yeah.
The crescent building, as now people call it, the crescent building is made of squares and of triangles.
Right.
And of one cylinder. I cut them, the roofs, I cut them
Okay.
with the surface of a toroid.
Right.
It's like the surface of a donut.
Okay. Done.
And as I cut them, you read the forms in the skyline. And this particular one rises higher than all the others.
Okay.
People say, is this the Khanda? It's not a Khanda, but it has this spirit of Sikhism of the sword that rises up into the sky.
Right. So a lot of things that the symbols had to be created, and you had to work as kind of an interpreter. But you said it's more of a secular design, and especially the place where we are standing. We mark the birth of Khalsa out here, right? So Khalsa is slightly different from it goes into another form of a Sikh,
Right.
which is martial, which knows
Yes.
how to fight for his
Yes.
cause and for the cause of the others. So Khalsa, the concept of Khalsa, is it also embedded in this thing? More into its structural form, or its
Well, it's-
quintessential form? Maybe the kind of exhibits that you are going to put in, and are they
Yeah,
important to
right.
you? Are they important to you?
The exhibits are already in at least the first half.
Yeah.
And they were evolved as we developed the buildings. The exhibit design team, Design Habit, were developing the design, and we were working together.
Right.
So the story, the narrative inside the building is part of the evolution of the design. And as you walk through the petals and the crescent, you're moving from one chapter or
To the other.
another of Sikh history. However, architecture has its own language. And the architecture is attempting to speak in the Sikh language, not literally, but metaphorically. And therefore, for example, I drew on the form of fortresses. When you look at this building from the south,
Okay. Fortresses.
yeah, when you look from here, it is hanging gardens.
Yeah.
It is the exuberant forms piercing the sky. When you come to the north, it's like a fortress. You don't see the metal roofs at all. You just see stone cylinders. It evokes the architecture of the fortresses of Punjab, of Rajasthan, because the fortress tradition, the defense, is very much part of Sikh tradition, and I wanted to have it there as a metaphor, not literally, but as a metaphor. And in that sense, the building has many of these references. But altogether, the coloration, the material, the bridging across the valley, all this, I think, imbues India, Punjab, and Sikhism, or maybe in a reverse order, Sikhism, Punjab, and India.
So going by that standards, today, as we see the first phase of it, being thrown open to the public in a matter of few days. But how do you see this place growing up? Because one very important and vital concern is that how is it to be preserved, and how is that got to develop in the further stages? That's very
Absolutely.
important, because the people are going to come here. And one more thing that one would like to know: is it a complex? Is it a museum primarily? There's a library around. There are exhibits inside. So primarily, this complex, we call it as a museum. That's a basic form.
Today, a museum means multifaceted activities.
Yeah.
It means exhibitions, changing exhibitions, permanent collection. It means programming, lectures, research, archiving, library, books, etc. this building has all these spaces for this to happen, but it won't happen on its own.
Yeah, there has to be a team.
today-
Like you said, it has to have a director, there has to be a guiding force.
So today we are at the beginning of a process. We worked 12 years to create a building. We now have to build an institution.
Exactly.
And museum director, curators, scholars, all have to get together to form the core of the management of this museum, cultural center, combination of the two. Now, Anandpur Sahib is a small town.
Yeah.
It is easier to do this in Delhi. It's easier to do it in Chandigarh. It's a challenge to create such an institution in a relatively small town, relatively isolated. Therefore, it's going to take more energy, commitment of the public, of the Sikh community around the world. I believe that this is a challenge to the Sikh community. They want to send their children here to immerse themselves in Sikh history. They want to come here as pilgrims and visit this place. They must support it. So the support of this place intellectually and financially is up for grabs right now, and now is the moment to rally around it. Otherwise, it'll be maybe a beautiful building that in 30 years might be a beautiful ruin. So we must make the institution strong.
And given the fact that it has seen a lot of ups and downs, a lot of stumbling blocks that I was always telling, and you were talking about the project director, we had very kind of unceremonious things about a project director being brought all the way from Michigan and not being accommodated, and there were a lot of things to say about that. The fact of the matter is, do you feel that a certain kind of expertise is also required? It's not just about your political will or a commitment, but it's more to do with the fact that we need to have the kind of expertise which has to go beyond the kind of work that is available in this part.
The key issue is, until now, this building has been built primarily by state funds and central government funds. And the state was instrumental, the chief minister, in getting this going, in choosing me as the architect, in supporting us through. And as you know, we went through 2 governments. We got support from all of them. Now it needs to be opened up. The state itself cannot run a great cultural institution. Cannot.
Because it requires a massive funding, the kind of preservation, the kind of
It's not just funding. It's not just funding.
running the
This
show.
cannot be run as a bureaucracy of the state. It has to be run as a cultural institution. It needs to have a board of governance. It needs to have an independent director who's a scholar, who's a great museum leader. It needs to have a staff, and they need to function as an institution. And therefore, what is important now is for the state, and perhaps with the support of the central government, to facilitate the creation of an institution, to find the right director, the right staff, and to form this nucleus that will run this institution.
Because eventually everything from funds to the kind of skill sets that you require for the people who would be working here, who would be giving it a shape as an institution, as you rightly pointed it out, that has to be worked out, right?
Absolutely.
चलिए we'll just take a little commercial break, एक छोटा सा commercial break ले लेने हैं। मौशे साहब दी साहब ने गलबात जारी है कि बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट गल्लां रही हैं कि एक इमारत एक मॉन्यूमेंट एक स्मारक बन चुका हैगा, लेकिन उन समझण वाली गल है कि इसमें एक इंस्टीट्यूशन का दर्जा संस्थान किवें बनाया जाना, इस विच रूह फूकण दी जिहड़ी लोड़ हैगी है ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈਗੀ। लेकिन मौशे साहब दी साहब ਦਾ अपना तजर्बा बहुत ज़्यादा हैगा ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ज़्यादा प्रोजेक्ट दुनिया भर ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀਤੇ। विल टॉक अबाउट दैट, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ।